Hello guys, Mark here, Dezaras Prime with the final part of my State of Everything update, this time covering Renegade Championship Wrestling and my WWE 2K17 machinima. Now, I'm going to create a wrestler as I do this. There's a few things. This was the difficult one, the toughest one to make a decision on, because I don't really enjoy doing this, but I mentioned in passing briefly that there were certain things. I'm not a like, comment, subscribe guy. If you want to watch it, you want to watch it, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. I'm not going to try and force it down people's throats. I'm not saying that people that do the like, comment, subscribe thing are like that, but it's just not my style. However, I've talked about the pressure and the workload that I put upon myself, and that I did have to finally look to the view counts to justify the work I was putting in, and this was probably the one where it hit me the hardest, because the RCW network only has about 6 subscribers. It doesn't get many views. It yeah, probably less than a handful of views. And even though it is for the most part fairly standard in creating in the format of the episodes, it is still an undertaking, because I need to add the entrance music in and stuff. I need to edit it all and all that jazz. And does that match up? And then I need to and the promos and stuff. Now, I will say this, that WWE 2K16 was a bit difficult in terms of promos. I mean, for the first couple of months, game months, because you know how it is, I don't stick to the show. I do a weekly show, but I don't do it weekly, if that makes sense. Let's see, bit out a bit more. Oh fuck. But yeah, each show does follow the week after the within the universe calendar. That's about right. And my so there's still for the first few weeks, like the introduction, like the reintroduction, because remember, this is a reboot of the original RCW that had a massive brand extension and became too much work in and of itself. Too focused on his damn mouth there. I'm going to stop for a sec. It basically became a for the first few shows, I could just focus on the Ascension tournament. I could I don't have to worry about promos, just hopefully good matches, and thanks ref because you're a wanker. But eventually it's going to have to become more than that. And I've always been a fan of the 8, because I was born in the 80s, got into the WWF in the 80s, late 80s, or might have been early 90s, but the first event I watched was 1990 Royal Rumble. That was the first wrestling match event that I actually watched on videotape, because I'm that old. And I always liked the old school, like, backstage interview type thing, and that's what I did with the old RCW. The thing with 2K16 was there wasn't really much I could do in terms of promos, because Universe Mode was that messed up that I couldn't rig a fucking attack or anything. So most of it was the first promo I did, with the exception of Roscoe's things, where it's basically a still image with text over the front. Now 2K17 has the promo engine, and one of the reasons I wanted to continue this was mainly because of the promo engine and the other little things like post-match breakouts and backstage brawls, and there's just so much more stuff that you can do without doing matches. And that was really what convinced me to keep going with this, because at first I was just thinking, well, I'll just do it at home. I won't record it. I'll just write the results down on a piece of paper like I used to 10 years ago with SmackDown versus Raw. And but I thought no, because you know, when I did the original RCW, my son used to love watching these, and he still does. And he's older now and he's able to play the game more. And it is something that, you know, I do want to showcase. So I'm going to stick with it, I think. But there are a couple of... What I've done is I've got myself a back catalogue of 2K16 matches just to tie me through while I finish creating everybody, because there was close to... My 100 slots were almost full. And... 6'4", I think he was, yeah. About 242 we'll go with. No, we'll go 252 because... But the, yeah, as I was saying, the, I've got a backlog, and I'll probably go to the end of February and then release March, including Uprising, on 2K17, because, you know, it's the road to Uprising. Uprising is my WrestleMania, basically. So I need it to be as good as I can make it. So I made the decision to... I'll go with them abs, I think. To do March on 2K17. Scrap what I've got for March on 2K16 and just go with March on 2K17. However, there are a few issues that I've run into. A few bugs. One, and I've submitted tickets for these two. Well, first of all, there's the champion entrance bug, where not every entrance has the title around its waist. Bo Dallas doesn't, for example, which is the entrance CW Longley uses, who is currently the US champion. There's the issue with belts, and I do like this for the most part, that they fit snugly around the waist and they go under jackets on created wrestlers now. It means I've had to alter Dezaras' entrance attire, the RCW champion, because he had the open hood, the hood with the closed off, the Cody Rhodes jacket, basically. Can't wear that now as champion because, you know, the belt clips through and stuff. It clips through on the bigger guys as well. So guys like Dragosan, if they have a belt, then I can't use Kane's entrance, entrance for Dragosan as a champion because they took Kane's champion entrance out for some reason. They probably didn't mocap it when they remade all the entrances and stuff. I was doing a lot of hand waving then and explaining shit. The appearance is done. Clothing, lower body, we'll go lower body first. Another issue is tag team entrances, and the problem with tag team entrances at the moment, and this only occurs in tag team matches that I've noticed, is that the crowd reactions are messed up, man. They are messed up in the sense that, where's the designs gone? If I try and throw an AB on here, they're messed up in the sense that when you set up a tag team match, regardless of who's in the match, faces or heels, it seems locked on that whoever comes out first will be cheered, sorry, and whoever comes out second will be booed. So that creates a difficult scenario. Now, sorry, my voice cracked then. I can work around that, I guess. Fuck. Right, let's change the trunks. Oh fuck. I can work around that. I could have the face tag teams come out first. That isn't ideal in any situation because in my mind, the way to build the crowd up for a match is have the villains come out, rile the crowd up, piss them off, and then send the heroes out to get the fans excited. It's, classic hero-villain storytelling. I do a lot of hero-villain storytelling. And the problem with this scenario is that it's going to be ass backwards, isn't it? Because let's just say I've got the Scots, who are the face tag team, and then I've got the Assassins, who are the heel tag team and the world tag team champions. I want to do a tag team match between them two. I'm going to have, in this instance, it's fine because I always believe champions come out last. But if the Assassins weren't the champions, I would have to send the Assassins out last and send the Scots out first. I would not mind doing that. I would do that if I absolutely had to. However, the problem lies with face versus face tag teams. If I want to do the Scots against the Cassidys, or the Scots against the Thrill Seekers, or Thrill Seekers against the Cassidys, one of those teams, one of those face teams, those baby face teams, is going to get booed. And that's the issue I have with it. I mean, I can't even just, I guess I could. So the problem is I don't do commentary for every show. I only do it I'm only going to be doing it for the pay-per-view. So Uprising, I'll be doing the commentary. I do the commentary for Ben's UWA Fed. I don't do commentary for the weekly RCW show. So the problem is I could go in and do a entrance for the Scots, quit the match, put the face opponents in first, run their entrance, record it, quit the match, edit it together in post, but there's Vivian's commentary. She'd be saying, there'd be no, and the opponents. She'll be like, the following is a tag team match, and you'd get that twice. So I would probably have to work around that a bit and maybe just cut Vivian if I'm going to do that, if this isn't fixed. It's the only way I can get face-on-face tag team matches. Otherwise, it's going to be one of the teams is going to be booed. And we don't want that. We could put it down to crowd preference. Oh, the crowd definitely prefers the Scots over the Cassidys. But how many times can you get away with that? So it's something that I hope is fixed. I know that a patch has been submitted to 2K, to Microsoft and Sony from 2K. I'm hoping that this is one of the issues that's resolved. It's only in tag team matches. That's the worst thing about it. And I do like to push my tag division. And it's probably one of the most relied on matches because if you've got two rivalries and you don't want to throw in a singles match, you have two tag team you have a tag team match with the face rivals and the heel rivals, or whatever rivals there are. And that, that presents a problem there as well. It's something that I'm going to have to look at in the and see where we go with it. I'm going to pause here because I'm almost up to my 15 minutes. I will be back for part 2 of this because I've still got stuff to get through. See you in a sec.